So before this video even starts, I just want to say that I'm not using this to get attention or bring my past drama. I'm using this as a way to defend myself the way I never did because back then I didn't care really, and I still don't because the situation is over with. But I just want to clear my name and just hold people accountable, specifically Streamline Workshop, for her irresponsible behavior. But also just to defend myself in general and just to stop being slandered because there are people who think it's okay to make fake alt accounts and call people racial slurs under my name and then involve people like my friend Sab in this stuff when it has nothing to really do with it. Like I don't think that's right. You might not think the same way I think, but I'm pretty sure using someone's name to call the people racial slurs is wrong. So, but in general, this video is just me holding myself accountable because obviously there are stuff in the video that I did wrong. I owe them to that and I apologize for that from one. But a lot of stuff is misconstrued and just doesn't tell the whole side of the story. And honestly, I'm tired of having to go to people whenever they come to me and ask, "Are you this person?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And they're just like, "Oh, well, fuck you." I'm just like, "You don't even know me, but good for you." This is just me putting my statement out there because it's getting annoying to have to correct people. Because I do hold myself accountable and I have apologized for my actions. Not that it makes it right, but there's just things in her video that people don't care about because people seem to just neglect my side of the story. People don't care to even try to defend me or question the morality of Shula's video, even though she openly said that she was biased against me from the start of her video, and that she was so sure that I was a bad person, and yet she had barely interacted with me from the creation of the video to the end of it. And no one ever reached out to my side. No one ever bothered to question the evidence. I doubt she even left a link to any of the evidence because a lot of it is censored. A lot of it is censored because she wants to defend her friends, and she loves to defend Sashley of all people. I have no problem with Sashley anymore, but things like her calling me the N-word, that's not okay. So we're gonna analyze the video from point one and just see what we can get from it. When it comes to things like the intro of the video, I have nothing to say on that. The video is made solely for attention. I don't like how I sounded or enunciated anything in that video, so we're not gonna cover it, like the beginning portion, because honestly, it has nothing to do with the situation really. I was just trying to be edgy and trying to present myself in a way that I wasn't, which is like some bad bitch who just wants to fuck over the world and watch the world burn, which is just not the case, at least not anymore. It's been over a year. And just a large portion of the drama that starts with this video, is stuff that I did when I was 13, or I'm sorry, 12 to 14, and leading into 15. And I want you to really remember my age range was 12 to 14 throughout all of this, and it's been a long time since all of that. And I want you to remember this one point, which everyone in the community, when they defended Sasha during the 2019, I think it was, drama, having to do with DDLG, remember that shit? Remember their main defense point was that her age excuses her behavior because she does not understand the weight of her actions. I want you to keep that rule in mind throughout this entire thing. That Stream's own point was that she's too young to take accountability, and that she shouldn't be pinned with this because it's just she's too young. Okay, so I want you to take that as you will, and now we will engage in the video. The first thing though, before we start the video, is that I still do go by she, her. At this point, pronouns are not a problem for me. I have been out for months now. I am going through my transition medically as well, so that never changed. I'm sorry this intro is so long, but those are things that need to get across. And the first point that we're going to go over is Streamline Workshop's microaggressions, starting with and I'm not calling her transphobic, I'm just saying we're going to start with this hidden piece of transphobia that goes in play here.
Has gone by many names. Puffsoda, Daddy Floof YT, KennyVS, KennyKnowsHisFacts.com, and most recently, Naomi. From the beginning clip I played, you might have assumed that this person I'm talking about is a guy. Naomi, to my knowledge, as I'm scripting this, has transitioned, and I will be referring to her by her proper pronouns. Do not, in the comments, say anything about how she's doing this for attention or anything along those lines.
If you're a cis person, or you just don't understand why what she said right there was wrong, then allow me to explain it to you. If you, especially as a cis woman, because I'm assuming that she's cis, because she didn't say otherwise. If she has, I apologize. You as a cis woman, knowing that this woman, other woman that you're talking about, so it's girl to girl, a woman that you're talking about is transgender, why couldn't you leave it at that? Why did you have to say that they're male passing or that their voice is male passing? That is, to me, and to other trans people that I've talked to, and people just that are bystanders, not biased towards me at all, can admit that what she said was kind of offensive. And I'm not going to call her transphobic or hold this against her in a negative way throughout this entire video, but you need to keep your personal shit aside, because that's what this entire video is filled of. When you're making a video like this, you need to keep that shit aside, because when I heard that, I was shocked that no one had called you out for that, because they were so busy defending you because you were a victim of grooming. And I'm not downplaying that or dismissing that at all, but like, honestly, it was just really, really shocking that that statement just like flew out of your mouth without even thinking.
To Naomi, that she contacted me in the comment sections of her video asking if I had a Discord. I replied and we began chatting, and she revealed the reason she privated the video was because she was getting too much hate and backlash over it. Her lies started immediately. She told me that she was Sashley's cousin, and that they lived together. Afterwards, she and Sashley got into a fight. She would tell me that Ash was ignoring her in real life as well.
No, this is such an ignorant point, but you know what? Let's hold it to where you put it, so let's keep it to that value. Again, context in 2018, because that's when this happened. If I'm not fucking blind, I'm not gonna relook at the screenshot. I'm pretty sure this was 2018, 2019, right? I was 12 or 13. Memory doesn't really serve. I was one or the other, okay? And around this time, I was doxxed by none other than Sashley's boyfriend at that, and he harassed me up into 2020. Okay, let's bring it all up. Okay, he doxed me. This is before they were dating. He doxed me and stalked me, like that whole UTTP bullshit. They stalked me. That was the first time that ever happened. It was in 2018, right? And for this, because me and Sashley were extremely close, like inseparable besties at this point. And we came up with the whole thing, like, you know, because our ROCs looked similar. So like, okay, we're like sisters, and it was like, you know what? Let's make it more believable. We're cousins, right? See, me and if you look at the screenshot that she showed, I said cries in Russian. I'm not even a percent of Russian. I'm Black and Puerto Rican. So why did I say that with an accent? That's fancy. Oh, anyways. So yeah, I'm not Russian at all, and neither was Ashley. I'm pretty sure people know that now because she got doxxed as well. But I'm Black and Puerto Rican, so it just goes to show that that was a lie. And we did that because I never intended on being close to this person at all. So I never thought that this lie would actually catch up to me. But it was literally for my safety, because I didn't want to be doxxed. And at this point right now, you can tell me my address and I wouldn't care. But this was not meant to be like a lie to like build up some sort of like connection or proof with you. This was literally just for my own safety at that point, because I was a child who didn't understand that doxing literally can do nothing if you don't let it do anything to you. So
another red flag I ignored was her deliberately doing things that would further upset Ash to get back at her. I tried to overlook this and rationalize to myself that she must have her reasons, because she seemed like a nice enough person.
Since I'm bringing that up, this is a perfect point. Let's hold Ash accountable for 2 fucking seconds, because you guys never hold her accountable. After I did that, do you know what she did? She went ahead and tagged people in her server and put my link to my video to come and have people harass me about it, okay? And on top of that, this was months later, since later on in this video you bring up like my exes when I was like 12 years old, when those relationships lasted like a month. You bring up one of my exes, remember Crossstands? Yeah, so I made a video for him, the sad nigga hours meme. Yeah, remember when Sashley made that meme and she didn't credit me after she literally asked me to take inspiration? Oh, see how it like connects? You see how it goes back and forth and it's both ways that we both did shit to each other? Yeah, now there's credit in that video, but I had to beg that bitch for it. And you know what's crazier? Go to Sashi's I'm the Man meme with Lancer from what the fuck is it called? You know that Undertale spinoff? I forgot the name. But look at the watermark, and it's in a lot of her videos. Yeah, I made that shit and I never got credit for it. She removed the credit by being petty because she didn't like me anymore at that point. So she removed credit. So she has multiple videos up with my work in them without credit. But you guys don't care about that, don't you? Because I'm toxic, apparently. Do you see what I mean? When it's like, and I'm not trying to call Ashley out for this shit because it's whatever. I would like credit, but I don't care anymore, really. Do what you will. But like, do you see how like only my like wrongdoing is being shown when it's going back and forth? Like, why are both parties not being held accountable? Why is Ashley special and I'm not? Like, I don't get it. Because you guys did the same thing when she was doxing people and calling people racial slurs. Sounds about right.
It seemed like Naomi really liked Cross, even though she had just had a breakup with Teardrop. However, things quickly broke down between the two of them, and she stopped talking about Cross altogether. It's some personal relationship drama, so I'm not going to expose it, since it's not relevant to the situation. Around the same time, Naomi would also get into a bit of a fight with Lucky X Snap. What sparked all this was Lucky supposedly copying her Sakura meme. She claimed that Lucky sent her friends to attack her and gave no screenshots. Apparently, she reached out to Lucky, but reaching out has a completely different meaning to her than it is to a normal person, and you'll see later in the video.
Again, I'm questioning the validity of your points because you claim that you wouldn't get into it, and yet you're bringing it up as evidence to show that I'm inconsistent with behavior and that I'm toxic or whatever this is supposed to mean. When it's a 12-year-old, that's what I was back then. I was 12 years old in a middle school relationship that had no value, and you were around 15. Our thinking levels were completely different at this time. And I guarantee you, not one of my supposed quote unquote exes from literally middle school give a fuck anymore. And yet you decide to bring this up. And this is where your pettiness and your bias shows. Because if this was any other creator, or any other person you were talking about, you know damn well that you would not be bringing this up. Because you know viewpoints can change, you know that things like this are irrelevant. And if this was Ashley, you would not bring Molten Nova up or Fell Sands up at all. But since we're bringing up old viewpoints and old mindsets, let's talk about your racism. Because I remember very distinctly you told me that you had something against Japanese people because of your country's history and war with them because I guess you were enslaved. Don't remember the details. But do you remember that? Do you remember that? And in your latest Creepshow art video, you were talking about how lately there's been a lot of Asian hate going on, and yet you are brewing it. I understand your parents are mainland, so it makes sense. You know, their viewpoints might influence yours. But it's just weird and hypocritical that you bring up old viewpoints, and yet you were openly racist against a country that's right next to yours. Sweetheart, what's the difference? You're both Asian. You should be, like, fighting for each other, not against each other.
Of course, I can't prove to you that this happened, since it was in a call. But I hope that throughout this video I can provide enough evidence that reinforces her behavior, that you would be willing to believe me on this point.
She says a lot in this video that she cannot prove certain things, and I know I'm going over like every little bit in detail. I'm not gonna do that for the entire video, but I need to get my point across on things that matter. Like, just to show you how inconsistent her video really is. And how weak it is with its points. But she, in a lot of these points, has no evidence. Like, to back up her claims, because I'm not like trying to deny these actions, they're right in front of you. But she goes above and beyond to paint this narrative that I'm a narcissist, I'm psychotic, or whatever. Because those are her own words, by the way. You can watch the video for yourself and see. But her lack of evidence really just does not back up her claims at all. I just wanted to certify that.
The four of us formed a little friend group, which will come up again later. Fun fact, Kiara, Caxi, and I are still friends, but can you guess who we aren't friends with?
Yeah, because your friend Caxi called me racial slurs. Do you not remember that? You don't remember that? See, I don't know if it's colorism because she's lighter than me, or it's nationalism. I don't know the word for this, but we're both Hispanic. But this bitch is Cuban, and I'm Puerto Rican. If you look it up, there's a little bit of discourse between the student communities because of the flags and shit, but this bitch openly called me racial slurs. And she, like, laughed about it, because she was like, if I'm not serious, like, you know, we're both Hispanic. Like, bitch, your point being? That's why I didn't like the bitch. That's why.
Something else interesting that came out of this period was another example of her two-facedness. Kexi messaged me out of concern about some things that Naomi was telling her about Ashley. But when I confronted Naomi about this, she denied it, and said Kexi must have misunderstood her blatant writing on the walls. I don't like
my two-facedness, because I don't know if you guys actually, like, pay attention to screenshots, because for some reason, Stream Works' screenshots are really, really low quality, and it's hard to pay attention to them, but I had to really look at them, and I read the screenshots. I don't know if y'all did that, but literally, I never said that she was manipulating me. I never said Sasha was manipulating me. Literally, all I said was that I was venting because of how I felt, okay? Like, I was venting, okay? Can bitches not vent? How I perceived the situation was how I spoke about it. In my head, I was not literally like, I'm gonna change it up, I'm gonna make it seem like... No, I wasn't doing that. And if you read our conversation stream, you can see you agreeing with me that I didn't think I was being manipulated. I was just upset, and Cassie jumped to conclusion because she's a fucking little girl. And she already doesn't like Ashley as it is at that point. So how am I two-faced? You... What... Explain to me, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, your claims do not make sense. Like, I want you to look back at your evidence, please, because you sound stupid. And you're smarter than that. I know you are.
do not spam her channel with pedo or pedophile, or anything of that nature. I'm saying right here, right now, that I was not groomed. She did not make any sort of sexual advances or innuendos towards me.
Again, sweetheart, I'm not trying to downplay the situation, but we're going to use this as an example, because literally days later, after you said that, you then retracted your claim, and then accused Hope Felicito of being a groomer. Notice how quick you switched up? I'm not saying you shouldn't have, but notice how quick you switched up with your understanding of the situation, and you were just like, let me look at the facts. Or what you believe was facts. Look, you see how fast that came to you? Yeah, but when I did that, when I was younger than you, because my understanding of situations was way different, because I was 12 years fucking old. How is it different? Do you understand the point I'm making to you? People switch up. People misunderstand situations. And people realize right and wrong, or what they perceive to be right and wrong, like I did because I was 12 years old. You morally, because you're about to be 18 years old, you realized really quickly, wait, I was wrong. Your perception of right and wrong. Why is it different for a minor?
I was very nervous about talking to Sam for a while, but we gradually did, and things were sailing smoothly. When it came out she was an adult, I got some mixed responses, and the one I want to focus on is Naomi's and Nebu's, Fano's ex-girlfriend. Let's start with Naomi. Naomi was rightfully wary of the age gap, but over time, warmed up to it when it was clear Sam wasn't trying to do anything illegal. Keep this point in mind because it will come up again later in the video.
I was 12. Oh my fucking god. Like, it repeats itself over and over. Sheila, if you're watching this, genuinely, I want you to rewatch your video and, like, with a calm mind, a fresh new set, and all racial slurs that people accuse me of saying aside, really think back, because you realize that you're being groomed, right? So maybe you could realize also that a lot of your points were complete bullshit. I have nothing against you. I don't. I think you are misunderstood for a lot of stuff. But I was 12. Of fucking course I wasn't going to connect the dots. You were 17 and you didn't connect the dots about you being groomed because it was romantic. And now you do. Why is it coming to me that I didn't connect the dots? And eventually I did. I was the first person. I was one of the first people to call her an ephebophile. I have the video to prove it still. And yet, it's different now. My calling him out was not motivated with anger. It was calling her out because that shit was disgusting. I had nothing to gain from that.
Naomi would start trash-talking QB, saying things like she was a dumpster fire, and she just couldn't deal with her. It took her 10 days to go from this to this. At this point, it'd become a reoccurring theme for me that Naomi was fickle with her friendships and her relationships.
My love, Iris, sweetheart, do you read your screenshots? Because literally, I never said I was going to date her. I never said I had feelings for her in the screenshots that you showed. None of that. None of that. Like, where are you getting your claims from? I went from this to this. I went from saying I wouldn't date her because I wanted to know if I actually cared about her or not, because I didn't know her and she was already falling for me, swooning for me. Like, all about me. I guess I was that irresistible. But okay. I went from that, like, saying I wasn't going to be with her, to saying that her emotional state was crazy because the bitch was psycho. Like, seriously, there was something wrong with her. Like, and she, like, I'm pretty sure she had a mental disorder that she spoke about. Like, she had something wrong with her. I could not handle her. I was 12. And I barely knew my sexuality. I was 12 years old. I'm using that statement for the rest of this context because this is ridiculous.
All you guys need to know is I got mad at Toxikai for manipulating my at-the-time friend, and he threatened to dox me. Toxikai got so pissy about it that he told Naomi to cut me out completely. I understand you can't blame victims of manipulation completely for their actions, but it still hurt a lot that Naomi would trust Toxikai, who she'd been talking to for a few days, more than she would trust me, and we've been friends for half a year at that point.
Here is how much you don't know me. Here is exactly how much you don't know me. Because me and Toxikai go back even before I knew you. We dated at least 3 or 4 times. And every time was toxic. And ever since the first time, always, and you can ask anybody, you can ask Ashley, you can ask Sab, you can ask anybody who knew me through this period, I was still attached to him because of how he left me during this time. I forgive him. Like, we're friends to this day. I forgive him. It's over with. We were both shitty people. But, like, you will never understand what that's like to that extent. Because in your relationship where you got groomed, which, again, I feel for you, I'm sorry, bless you, you were not taken advantage of like I was. Like, I got shitted on, and I knew him before I knew you. It was not just a few days. This is why I said you guys should have came to me. No, because no one did. You guys should have came to me and asked questions, because this just goes to show how much you didn't know about that situation, and you shouldn't have spoken on it.
Maybe it's just me, but I'm a little suspicious of that. In the span of 3 days, Naomi went from hating Toxikai to being manipulated by him on a level only seen after years of manipulation, and then suddenly she cuts him out again entirely. Maybe I'm being the dick here, but I'm a little suspicious about how that all happened in 3 days.
I was 12. I hated him, and I told you how I hated him, because he took advantage of me and my friends. I took that pressure because he roped me back in somehow, because he did that before. He was really, really toxic, and he roped me back in, knowing my toxic attachment to him and how he left me. He roped me back in, okay? And it took me a while, but I realized my friendship was stronger, and I really had to care about you, because that event you made really not only scared me because of him, but because I was concerned about how much I affected you. Because I was 12, though, I couldn't fully understand it. And now to this day, like right now, if we were friends right now, and this all happened right now, things would be so much different, because I didn't understand how much you cared about me back then, because I was 12 years old. You are kind of being the dick here by downplaying the situation, because again, you don't know nothing about it, and you shouldn't have spoken on it.
Naomi even went as far as to say she'd love to kill Lilix over this, which is just borderline psychotic.
But I had anger issues, and you know what, I actually went to therapy for that, and I'm much better with that. I have not really gotten angry at something in over a year, so I got the help I needed. A lot of people say shit when they're under pressure, under the influence, or they're just really angry. And I'm not defending or excusing that action by saying that I want to cause physical harm onto this person, but it's a reason, and it's like a proper... It's a reason, okay? A lot of the stuff that you use for your screenshots can be excused with a lot, and I understand your video was made because it's all building up, but it doesn't have to build up if you don't force it to, like you did with a lot of this stuff.
Yes, I have to emphasize that she was not doing good. I have to emphasize this because Naomi would comment on her video that she was copying Roxy. First of all, Kiara does not like Roxy. She isn't even subbed to her and doesn't watch her stuff. So how Naomi came to this conclusion to begin with is really strange, because she knows that Kiara does not like Roxy. Naomi claimed that it was the same edited audio, and that Kiara had copied her editing, which... okay, I guess.
Now this one with Kiara is going to be a doozy, so I'm just going to try and brush over it. This community normalizes pedophilia and grooming a lot, and you guys normalized Sam X stream for a hot minute until you guys decided not to. You did the same shit with Kiara and Kaxi. Blatant pedophilia right there. She was 18 and Kaxi was like 15. Stream, do you not remember that whole argument? Like, you made that point up yourself. Like, that was your own claim, and it was true. And yet, because you're friends with people, you normalize it and let it go, when you know for a fact they're dating behind the scenes. It's true, it's a fact. And if it's not, it's not. Sorry for using that as an argument, but the point is, you guys normalized pedophilia with that girl and let it just go free. So I can't wait for you to like see the colors with that one. But listen to Kiara's Lambada meme and then listen to Roxy's Lambada meme. It's literally the same audio. Like, You white knighted her and yet didn't listen to the audio. She literally copied and pasted the link and used the audio. Like that was the point. It was a fact. It was not a claim. It was a fact. It was literally a fact. If you don't like the bitch, then don't use her audio edit because she literally edit because the original song does not go on for that long. Okay? If you don't like the bitch, don't use her edits. It's that simple. Especially without crediting her. Like I don't understand why this was a big thing when it was literally so simple. Like just keep that same energy because you fucking TikTok girls love to do that.
Okay. I recorded and edited the video, and she seemed very supportive, even mentioning that she would be making her own video about this, which I fully supported. We stopped talking for a bit until Val, one of my friends, told me that Naomi was planning to make a run on me. I was so stunned. What the hell? Why?
Sleepy, you're honestly a bitch and a half for this one because I always knew you had something against me, but this just fucking like goes above and beyond. I didn't do shit to you, to my knowledge. Like, I don't even know you like that. Anymore, at least. I don't know you like that. And there's no proof here. Like, where are your screenshots? Where's your evidence? Like, nothing for this claim. Because Sleepy never has claims with evidence. Like, she never has nothing. She always runs her mouth to everybody trying to be in people's business, trying to be somebody. Like, I'm not saying this to be rude, but I'm saying the facts and how I view the situation. Like, this was a bunch of bullshit. I never said that. I never said that. Stream. Literally, she just regurgitated the information I told you. Like, I was making my own video because I thought we were gonna collab on it at first, but I wasn't cleared up. I was making my own video, and I thought, like, if you ever, like, said something incorrect, I would just be like, oh, well, she said this, but actually, like, I wasn't going to be negative. You guys constantly pin up against me and associate everything I do with negativity. Like, me calling out your pedo boyfriend. That had nothing to do with being negative. Public humiliation, yeah, because he's a pedophile. Do you see what I'm getting at? Like, you guys, like, really like go above and beyond, like fucking reaching across the galaxy from heaven to hell, like to try and connect something when there's shit in between that you guys don't look at. Like I don't understand this. Like you're smarter than this. Why did you not see any of this? You don't know why? Because you were biased at the time. It's true. It's true.
And not to point fingers or anything, but I'm not the one subbing to every channel you have. And the channels of my friends, and even my little sister, who is 10, seems just a little obsessive, if not a little creepy. Thankfully.
Oh hell no. What are you trying to say with that? Like, why are you emphasizing, she's 10, that's my sister. Like, okay, I'm not gonna touch her. I don't even know her. What the fuck? Like, does anyone not find that weird how she emphasized it? Like, she was trying to say something with that. Like, she was trying to be real slick with it. Like, sweetheart. I'm not going to excuse my worst behavior because what I did with that channel was I tried to be like a little sneaky with it. I was like, let me just like sub to their channels, right, to give them notification. And I was gonna like that little video that you showed earlier when I like shit on your like events, because you had like 10 vents about me, which was weird behavior of itself. But I was trying to be like one of those like weird ass channels. Again, immature, stupid, sorry. Shouldn't have done that. I just wanted to be like inconspicuous with it. And you're showing this information out of order because that happened way before the whole CP video thing. So, inconsistency, sweetheart. Inconsistency. Do better. Do better.
This entire conversation is filled with these kinds of things, and I will leave the entire thing in a Google Drive folder in the description. On July 31st, for some unholy reason, Naomi added Lilix to a group chat to harass her with Sab. They were making fun of her abusing animals, which, to no one's surprise, is a blatant lie, leaking Ash's face, and making fun of her when she brings her friends in to defend her because she didn't want to continue to be harassed. It's also shocking how readily Naomi calls Ash a transphobe, when 1, I have never seen any screenshot to indicate that she is, and 2, this screenshot exists.
Holding Lilith accountable, she did some fucked up shit to Sab, but, I don't excuse my behavior and how I treated the situation. Should have done better. I thought being a bad bitch and, like, shitting on people was funny back then. If not, I apologize. Okay, move on, whatever. That screenshot, it's just weird that you censored that, because the other person I named in that statement was Ichika, the YouTuber. Yeah, remember that? Why would you censor that? Why are you not holding people accountable for their actions, but just me? Okay. Anyways, that just shows my dysphoria even more, because it's so common for trans people to show their inner hatred. Is it right for me to do that? No, it was wrong. I apologize. But on top of that, people around me were not going to be accepting of me, and it's also not uncommon for gay people to show misogyny and sometimes misogyny, because it's this form of inner hatred, self-hatred. Again, I'm not excusing my behavior, but I'm explaining it to you. So this point is weak. Let's get into the racism. I want to see that one.
Oh, and remember how I mentioned Naomi was a little racist? This is where that comes in. Sab makes the remark that I should pack up, and refers to me as Ni Hao Kailan. You know, that kid show. And when Naomi and Sab are called out for being racist by laughing at that joke, Sab attempts to defend themselves by saying this.
Me and Sab still want to figure this out to this day, so we're asking you, how is Sab racist for that? She said nothing about it. It wasn't even it who said the joke. Sab did not say the joke, like, it was me. And I explained it and what the joke meant because you're not an explorer, you're not exploring shit. Nia Kylan, to my knowledge at the time, that show was about like a little girl trying to educate people, because that's what you try to do. Like Nia Kylan would walk around with her little, I think it was a tiger, and they would just fucking try and get into his business and educate them. And also, that joke came from TikTok. It had nothing to do with your race. I could have said that to any ranter. I can understand where it could seem racially insensitive, and I apologize, because I have nothing against people of color or anything. Like, I even be defending white people when they get called, like, those made-up fucking slurs. Like, I am not racist. I made a fucked up joke that was based off of TikTok. Like, it had nothing to do with your race. And I apologize if you thought it did. But that does not excuse the racism that you display towards your own people, Asian people, and does not excuse you defending Ash for calling me, and I'm going to be completely honest, if YouTube restricts you to whatever, Ash literally said Floof is a nigger, slave, like, cotton picker, nigger. She said that. You can't excuse that. You can try and defend whatever she said about, oh, what's up, my nigga, like, you can try and defend that, but when you talk about a black person, because my feelings out at this point in time, a black person, you said Floof is a nigger multiple times. How do you defend that? How? Because she is whiter than paper. Sweetheart, you are the whitest of white. I have never seen anyone, like, the hair, the glasses, you are white. There is not a Caucasian love. Like, you are white. There is no excuse. I don't know why Stream defends you. Stream, why do you defend her for that? Like, hold her accountable. But you never fucking do. Like, how am I racist when your friend literally was calling me racial slurs? Like, the hard R. What? So, I was gonna go on about how she reached out to one of my friends at the time to tell her that was a racist piece of shit. Guess what? That friend never gave a fuck. She didn't care. Because she knew it was full of shit. So, you guys tried to prove to her that I was a scumbag, but it didn't really work. End of statement. Like, this is the end of the video. We're done. We got through it. And I'm holding it a piss. So we're gonna try and talk quick. At the end of the day, I apologize. A lot of stuff I skipped over because I knew it was true. There was stuff I had to say on it, but I wasn't going to, like, make an hour-long video because that's how long this video was getting. I apologize to everybody. And I'm gonna go off the top of my head. To Sashley, to Sleep Sheep, Cuppy, Louis Jar, School of, like, whoever the fuck was involved. I'm just saying names at this point because I'm genuinely just, like, lost for words. But I'm saying sorry. I'm holding myself accountable. I have been for months now. I've sent people your video stream. Like, my best friends, I've sent your video and be like, hey, yo, I was a shit-ass person. Like, here you go. Tell me to fuck off if you want to. And they saw who before I was. You do not know me as a person. None of you do anymore. I literally play Overwatch for a living now. Like, I don't draw anymore. Like, I left this community behind, but I kept true to my person. I was honest about who I was, and I was honest, just like right now, because I got therapy, I did some reflecting, like, I really changed my life for the better. I'm not saying this, like, try and give me fucking cookie points, because I could give a fuck less, but I'm saying this because I really did change my life and who I was as a person, and I recognized the disgusting action I was, and that's why I have not tried to reach out to any of you after that video, or even after those actions. Like, I was done. And that's why this video, I made it, because not only am I holding you accountable, but I'm holding everyone else accountable, including myself. Like, I started with myself. I was wrong for what I did. I was wrong for all the toxic behavior, but again, my age really can be an excuse just as you use the excuse for her. And I'm not saying just to, like, try and prove a point. I'm saying it because it's true. I was a really misguided child without a father figure who acted out because I didn't get attention at home because my mom had to work. That's really what it is. It's not for pity, it's a reason. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. I went through situations, I went through trials and tribulations, I went struggling through with my sexuality and my gender for a long time. That's why I forced relationships with girls, I forced being masculine, I tried it, and it flopped because it wasn't me. I hope this video gives you a basic understanding of that.